Hi everybody, my name is Troy Benningfield. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Marion County Public Schools. I'm talking to you today about our Summer Reading Initiative. By the time you see this video, students, I expect that many of you will have received at least one book in the mail this summer. Hope you're enjoying it. If you're in grades 4 through 6, you're going to get another book this summer that's a mystery, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Some of you are going to get a cool book called Case Closed. I think you'll really enjoy it. The one I'm going to read from today, though, is called Legend of the Star Runner. And I really like this book because it turns you into a detective. You'll actually get a magnifying glass with your book that you'll have to use to help solve the mystery that's posed in the book. And you may even have to find some other gadgets from your house to help you solve the adventure that the main character goes on in this book. So if you already have your book in the mail, you might want to read along with me. I'm going to read chapter 1 today. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1 is titled Something's Odd. Quick, Timmy, Lily's voice woke me from my slumber. I squinted into the sun. She stared down at me, catching her breath. Get up, come on. I scrambled to my feet and clapped the dust off my hands. What's going on? It's about a treasure, she whispered and ran off. Puzzled, I watched her gain distance before I took up the chase. It was summer vacation. Finally, it was still early morning, but you could already tell it would be a hot day. A few moments ago, I had been lazily enjoying the sun. The smell of freshly cut grass hung in the air. You could hear music playing somewhere and children laughing in the distance. Now I found myself running alongside Lily, one of my two best friends. Are you kidding? What treasure? I gasped. Grandpa called last night and told me to be at his place at 10 o'clock sharp. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement. He didn't want to give away more. I told Marvin to come too. Told him to wait for us in Grandpa's garden. When we arrived, panting, Marvin was already waiting and holding Grandpa's cat in his arms. She was completely white, with the exception of 2 orange stripes on her tail. Rushing in like that made the cat jump. She began to kick, scratch, and meow as she struggled to escape Marvin's embrace. He screamed, dropped the cat, and glared at us in annoyance. He loved animals and was the other of my 2 best friends. Lily ran past Marvin, paying him no mind, and rang the doorbell. I did that already, but he isn't opening up, Marvin said. Lily furrowed her brow, hammered on the door, and yelled, Grandpa! Nothing. No reaction. He said 10 sharp, she said, out of breath. This isn't like him. Marvin beamed at me, eyes wide. Did you hear? It's about a treasure. Whenever Marvin threatened to burst with anticipation, he began to bob up and down on the spot. Sometimes he was almost hopping, like now. It looked silly, but he didn't care. Maybe we'll have an adventure this summer, he said, bouncing and clapping his hands. I guess it has already started, I answered, still puffed. Lily gazed helplessly at the closed door. We have to get in there now, she panted. This isn't right. It was really strange that her grandpa wouldn't open up, but I tried to reassure her. Maybe he just can't hear us. Or maybe he went to get some cake, Marvin said. But Lily wasn't going to calm down. Once she had her mind something, she wouldn't let it go, especially if it was about something close to her heart. No, we need to get in there, she muttered, pressing her ear to the door, listening for sounds from the inside. All the windows seem to be closed, I said. Is there another entrance? No idea, Lily answered. We should circle the house and have a look, I suggested. Well, there's definitely another way in, at least sort of, Marvin said. I stared at him, waiting for an explanation. He smiled back at me, not saying a word. We looked into each other's eyes for a couple of seconds, then he suddenly blurted out, I think I saw a little lizard hiding under this stone earlier. Completely puzzled, I watched him go to his knees, peeking under a stone at his feet. Nah, he said in disappointment, but there's some sort of worm here. Shaking my head in disbelief, I yelled, how do you know there's another entrance? So when you get to the end of chapter 1, students, you see a picture that you have to look at and search for clues. And this is when I got the magnifying glass out, and I immediately saw something that told me that there is another entrance to Grandpa's house. But if you can't figure it out, you can turn to the back of the book and find a secret clue. So here's the part that I think is totally cool. When you turn to the back of the book, to find the hints. They're in secret code, and you actually have to find a mirror and read the clue in the mirror because it's written backwards. So here's the clue for chapter 1. Marvin didn't say whether the way in was a door, a chimney, an open window, or a mouse hole. He also didn't say he had already found it. Maybe he only noticed something that suggested there was another way in. But what? So, you read the clue and go back with your magnifying glass and you look very carefully at the house, you're going to find a clue in there that's going to tell you that there might just be another way inside the house. And then the adventure begins. Hope you enjoy this book. Chapter 2 really takes off. Have a great summer. Enjoy reading.